What is going on, Diablo 2 fans? Dobrunsky here, and today's video is going to be a quick update on the evolution of the Diablo 4 skill tree as well as the Re-Spec system. So again, I apologize if my voice sounds a little bit off. I have been feeling a little bit under the weather lately, but I did want to get this video out because I am really looking forward to Diablo 4. The evolution of the gameplay, the open world concept, the skill tree, the development all looks fantastic to me, and what I'm going to be covering in today's video, again, which is just the evolution of the skill tree, I think looks fantastic. I should say that all of the assets and screenshots and video footage that I've gathered for this video, it's all from an IGN interview that I'll have linked in the description below, where it goes into a complete breakdown of Joe Shelley and Rod Fergusson just talking about their philosophy behind character customization, the skill tree, and whatnot for Diablo 4. So anyways, guys, hope you enjoy this video. That being said, let's jump in. So I want to first reference the evolution of the D4 skill tree. The first iteration that we saw, which again, this was development footage from many quarterly updates ago. I think the video that I made on this was, I think, over 2 years old, but it was an actual skill tree, and the skills sort of evolved as you kind of came up from the roots of it, and it literally was a tree, and there was passive nodes. And one of the main criticisms from the community was they felt that it didn't have enough possible customization options. It's sort of kind of similar to the Diablo 2 skill tree, was sort of the vibe people were getting. It was like 30 or 40 skills, and the community didn't really think it was enough. Again, they wanted more choices and more diversity within different character classes, but they didn't want to be completely overwhelmed like something similar to PoE. So from the screenshots that we've seen, they've definitely taken a lot of this feedback. It definitely looks like you're sort of progressing from different main clusters of skills and different nodes, which you do have to progress kind of one by one to get to each node. But then from each singular node, there's multiple different branches of different skills that you can take advantage of. And they talked in the interview about how they wanted them to sort of have a synergy base similar to Diablo 2, but not quite so obvious.
You talked about skills, connecting to other skills and building off of them. That's another area where we've gone through a lot of iteration, right, to make those connections clear. Because you don't have the connection where, you know, a skill is literally below this other skill and you must take 1 point in this and then that you saw in D2, but you have all of these sort of natural connections between things like the skill causes bleeding and this skill benefits from bleeding.
So there's a really cool screenshot here where you can see basically what looks like to be a werebear from the druid, and you can kind of follow it and seeing how there's similar skills. So you're just kind of making your way through the different nodes and synergizing each different skill by investing more skill points. So the idea here is they wanted the game to cater towards people that wanted to theorycraft, they could understand it, but again, not be super overcomplicated. Rod Fergusson references this, and I'm pretty sure he's referencing a PoE, talking about using Path of Exile Builder and having to follow something exactly to make your character.
There's games where you would go into it and you go like, oh, that's way too complicated. Just go look up a website, tell me what I have to put in.
And that's something they wanted to avoid, but they did want to expand upon sort of the somewhat limited nature of the skill tree of Diablo 2. So as far as respeccing goes, it looks like Diablo 4 is planning to implement sort of a hybrid system that kind of takes the pros and cons of Diablo 2 and Diablo 3, which I'm actually all for, because gold is the currency to respec, and it seems like early on it's not very costly to respec between different skill trees. So just showing off some screenshots, it's like 1 or 2 or 3 piles of gold, which shouldn't be too hard to get early on, I would think, to sort of experiment between maybe a fire branch or a cold branch or a lightning branch with the sorceress, which is the opposite of Diablo 2, where if you invest that hard point, you're kind of stuck and you really need to just burn one of your 3 respecs that you get from completing the Den of Evil early on. So it's not very straightforward or very forgiving for characters early on, but as you sort of progress and your character becomes more solidified, it becomes more costly to respec. So that's kind of the opposite of Diablo 2, because if you think about it, if you have a fully spec Blizzard sorceress, you get the gear, you want to switch to lightning, it's not too much of a challenge to farm a respec token, whereas Rod actually references you'll sort of reach a teetering point in Diablo 4 with the progression of your character. You'll be so heavily invested that in order to respec that character, it's not really worth your time, and it's sort of a better use of your time to start a whole new character. So it's kind of a hybrid of both systems, and I actually think it's a positive change over Diablo 2.
I'll make up a number, but like say at level 50, there's gonna be a point in time where you go like, oh, I would like to be a different barbarian, but it's too expensive to undo everything I've done. It's actually better for me to roll another barbarian and start a new one.
So from everything that I've seen so far, I definitely think that Diablo 4 is taking a step in the right direction for character customization and just building out a character in general for a novice player as well as a veteran player, but there's still 2 areas of concern for me for Diablo 4. The first is drop rates. We don't really have any concrete information on whether it's going to be like Diablo 3 or Diablo 2 in terms of itemization and drop rates. That's definitely a key concern. The second is trading. Now, I've talked about this on stream a lot. There's pros and cons to having a free open market as well as restricted trading, which we have sort of seen rumors of somewhat limited trading. We don't really know the full extent yet, but a lot of people freak out because they're like, I like having an active trade community similar to PoE. But again, restricting some items, making them account bound and not being able to trade, that takes the wind of the sails of real money trading websites. So for those that hate D2JSP or any sort of real money trading website for Diablo 2, that is the positive aspect to restricting trading to some regard in Diablo 4. So that's really kind of the only two concerns that I have with the game so far. But in terms of visuals, character progression, customization, the skill tree, definitely think Diablo 4 is looking very solid. And lastly, I want to quickly reference the potential 2023 April release date rumor of Diablo 4. I usually don't weigh in on these, but I do think it's interesting because an April 2023 release date is a little bit earlier than what I was anticipating. And the reason being is because in June, they had the Xbox showcase, and every single game from that live showcase was supposed to be releasing in 12 months or less. So I was anticipating sort of a June release date of 2023, just giving them a little bit more time. Maybe there's pressure to release the date a little bit earlier. I don't really know, but we will know if these rumors are a little bit more true if we actually do get a pre-order around early to mid-December. So anyways, guys, that's everything I wanted to cover for this video. I'll have links for the rumor in the description below. Don't really place too much faith in them, but we'll see what happens. Anyways, guys, hopefully you enjoyed the video. Again, let me know in the comment section below if you guys agree, disagree, you think I missed anything major, you have any critical concerns about Diablo 4. Any feedback is always welcome. Other than that, hopefully you enjoyed the video, and I'll catch you on my next stream or YouTube video. Peace.
Addicted to the rush, I never meant to fall.